Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. How are you? I'm going to do a little quick video. And first and foremost, before I start, I want to make this abundantly clear. The purpose of this video is not to show hate towards the game Hellblade, because the title will probably give off the idea that I'm hating on Hellblade, which that is not the point of my video. First and foremost, if you guys have been following me for a very long time, you guys will know that I am a big Ninja Theory fan. I've been a big Ninja Theory fan since the OG Xbox, even though I never really played a lot of their first game on OG Xbox, which was Kung Fu Chaos. But I do know it was a good Kung Fu action party style game. Now, I used to own the game, but at this moment, I don't have the game because I had to trade it in when I did upgrades back then. I'm trying to rebuy it, and I have it. And to prove that I am a Ninja Theory fan, here I have their titles. I have Devil May Cry to show. I have Heavenly Sword on PS3 to show. I have the Disney Infinity, which they don't get represented in the box, but they did the combat for the game, especially for the Star Wars theme of Disney Infinity. I have Enslave here as well, which was published by Namco. And as you see, right there in bold letters, it says Ninja Theory. Okay, and as you see in the screen on my right, or what would be your right, okay, and my right on the screen, I have Hellblade right over here, and Rise, Son of Rome over here. The point of this video, and shout outs to my boy New Legal Felon at the World of Xbox in the DX Mansion, which is our gaming group, and my boy 100 in intromediagaming.com, and to a couple other people like Tuck Master and Master Chief and Sir Mercom and Kenny Thomas, Take It Forever, and Mr. Big Kahuna. A lot of these guys that haven't been really around for a little while, Jay Long, Ghost Rider, Kaleidoscope, but they're still active, but not as much because they've been busy. Shout outs to them. Now, the point of what I'm trying to bring out in this video is that I've just been discussing is that I feel that the hypocrisy that's going on right now with Hellblade is the true example in why the state of gaming right now is where it is. Because as you guys know, here in Rise, Son of Rome, okay, Rise, Son of Rome was a launch title. Now, Rise, Son of Rome is a game that gives you the freedom to basically control the character at all times in the entire area with heavy combat. Okay, they are both hack and slash games. Okay, they both are story-driven narrative games. The only difference is Rise is saying a story about the gods playing a joke on the humans, or in this case, Marius, right? And Hellblade being about a young girl suffering from a disease that we all know as schizophrenia, which I have a friend, shout outs to him, George, that suffers from this type of disease, a different type of schizophrenia, because it has different levels of conditions. Okay, so I'm doing this with the utmost respect, not disrespecting people that may suffer from the disease. This is about the games, because this is gaming. And my whole point is that Hellblade, okay, is getting all the accolades and all the praises right now, and even being considered as contendant for Game of the Year, when all Hellblade is doing is giving you a story of how the girl is suffering in her mind, which were done in other games, maybe not exactly this way, but in a game like Amy, it was about a little girl that was alone, had a mental illness, and had to be taken care of by this young lady. It's not like it hasn't been presented in a game before, which people seem to forget, or maybe they never really played and think that I'm talking out my butthole, right? So, Hellblade's problem is that Hellblade has a lot of walking, and as you see here, a lot of shapes that they show you that are in her mind that she has to match with the environments in order to open all the gates, if you will, to continue her path to find her answer to the gates of hell, right? in Rise Son of Rome, you have actual gameplay where you fight with your sword, with your shield, okay? It has a lot of CG story. It has a compelling story with the gods making fun of, the humans, and especially in this case, they're using Marius as their form of to get to a certain king or prince in the which is the fat dude in the beginning. I forget his name in the game, and he's going after him. It's kind of like a revenge story because he's being fooled. And as you see that, Rise Son of Rome has consistent gameplay. Rise Son of Rome has violence in the gameplay, which is authentic to the settings. Rise Son of Rome has a lot of graphical details, like the foliage, the leaves falling, the sun and the skies moving, as opposed to Hellblade, that all the details are static. They're really not moving or non-existent. You see maybe a little bit of birds here and there, particle effects when things go on fire in her mind, okay, because it's all playing tricks on her mind, and the whole game is just her as the main character. And then the characters that you do fight all look exactly identical. She has a strafe, a jump, heavy attack, and a soft attack, okay? And then you can combine them together with the jumping and the strafing while you run, and then she has a little bit of a running. And that's it. That's the whole package that you get with the combat system and Hellblade. So the real thing that everybody keeps alluding to, they keep praising, oh, it's how the story, how you hear it in your headsets, and it sounds like, oh my God, like somebody's talking to you in your ears, which that's just basic surround sound 101. Okay, if you have any good pair of headsets with any game that has great surround sound, you'll hear these types of ambient acoustic sounds and techniques the same way you'll hear it on a top-of-the-line home theater system. Now, Hellblade is in Norse mythology, which is pretty cool because a lot of games haven't tackled Norse mythology. But also, Hellblade doesn't have a lot of music. It has ambient sounds and some music, and the music is good, but not enough, or a lot, if you will. As opposed to Rise, has a lot of music that is consistent level to level, and on every level basis, okay? It's a bigger open world, has way more colors, as you can see. Graphical fidelity is of a higher quality because it doesn't have the excessive film grain that's in Hellblade, which is another topic that no one talks about. The film grain in Hellblade is ridiculous. And I'm playing these on 32-inch TVs. But if you play it on a 65-inch on the Pro in 4K with the hertz on and 60 frames, it's horrendous. It looks horrible. Okay? Now, if you're playing Rise in a 4K upscale on the S, you get the same exact graphical fidelity. You don't lose attention to detail, and you don't lose attention to the color palette or the animation or the actual polygon quality within the graphics of the game. Now, Rise was received with very low scores. People saying the story was bad, which it wasn't. The gameplay wasn't that great. The gameplay is authentic to what it was in those times. It's simplified. The only thing that the difference is in Rise, you can actually do environmental kills. You can use the water to drown people. You can stab people with existing branches that are in the environment thrown at them, and they can get cling on and die. You can use your shield to hit them with them. You can cut their limbs off. You can use spears. You can get on a spear gun and shoot to blow up, barrels of fire and things of that nature. You can also use your squad to do a protection form that was done by the Spartans back then while you're walking to approach archers and things of that nature, which is also another gameplay element that Rise offers. You have boss battles in Rise Son of Rome. You have consistent CG storytelling in Rise Son of Rome. And you have platforming in Rise Son of Rome. You have QTEs in Rise Son of Rome. The difference is that they're also optional in Rise Son of Rome. You can also do QTEs in Rise Son of Rome by options. Not that you have to. It's a color coordinated palette, which was first introduced in Golden Axe Beast Rider on 360. Okay, it was something that was done before in that game. And as you see here, see, Hellblade, again, my assistants have been playing it, and he hasn't had one combat battle yet. All he's been doing is walking, 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 and listening to the whispers in her voice of the story. Right now, you see her trying to escape from the hell version of where she is right now in the environment to get to the door before she dies. Okay? That is all you're doing right now in Hellblade. And this is consistent in Hellblade. So for me, as a real rooted gamer that started this back in Pong, with Atari, the arcades, with Pac-Man, with Super Mario Brothers, Sonic, just to name a few, gameplay is the most important element in a game. Story, graphics, and everything else like music and sound is all a bonus. But games have evolved to the point where we're playing games that are almost like movies. Absolutely. But if I want to watch a movie, in most instances with a lot of games that are like that or presented that way, in a game like Hellblade or a game like Until Dawn or even a Last of Us on Sony's platform, which a lot of their games are heavy on story, motion capture, and just QTEs and mocapping and quick time scripted events, okay, then the element of gameplay, the root of games and video games, is gone. Because gameplay is why you play games for, to have fun. Everything else is a bonus. Rise has all the things that Hellblade offers and much more. You see this video right here with this gentleman? That's actually using an old full motion video technique blended in with the polygons within the game, which used to be on the Sega CD way back when, that everybody thought was horrendous and a joke. And that's one of the elements they use in Hellblade, an old technique. Now, am I saying Hellblade is a bad game? No. What I'm stating is Hellblade is an overrated game. And yes, some people may like it better than Rise. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the facts that I'm pointing out is Rise has more gameplay. Rise has better graphic quality and fidelity. Rise is a physical game. Rise is a game that was a launch game, okay? Rise has a multiplayer aspect, even though it's simplified, but it gives it a replayability value as well. Unlike Hellblade, that doesn't even have a multiplayer, okay? Rise also has more gameplay mechanics, boss battles, consistent music, level to level, different pathways that you could take, big environments for the maps that they are, and it has more things going on, like a lot of NPCs, different guys, maybe not a whole different variety, but different enough, at least 12 to 13 different character designs within the game, unlike Hellblade that only has like 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm almost done with Hellblade. I definitely finished already Rise. I played it multiple times, but the point I'm saying is the hypocrisy is Rise was hated on. It got a 6. Some people gave it 5. Some gave it 4s. Hellblade is getting praises of 8s, 9s, 10s, and I think one person gave it a 1 because maybe he was trying to be as honest as possible. He legitimately thought it was the 1, or maybe he thought it was funny. I don't know, but that's his opinion, obviously. But I'm trying to give a constructive criticism opinion that has an educated point, not an opinion without any type of merit, explanation, or point that has merit to it. So for those who want to keep saying that no, Rise is not good, but Hellblade is, that makes you seem like you're being hypocritical and sound hypocritical, even though you have the right to like one game more than the other, because Hellblade doesn't offer more than Rise as far as story, gameplay, graphics, sound, multiplayer, gameplay elements, and options. And those are not me saying it, those are facts. Hellblade is just walking, going up to symbols that are used also as save points, where you read and they tell you and read out to you the story of the land. And as she's walking through, she's platforming at a slow pace where she's walking until she gets to certain areas that remind her in her mind with her psychosis of her schizophrenia of certain things. And that's why she has to combine the shapes to open up the doors to continue on her journey. Okay, Rise has platforming, but you don't use puzzle solving, like you have to move a block to match it with this to do this in order to continue. No, that's about the only difference. But they're both in the same genre, the hack and slash genre. They both have story, and one is simple, and one is not. One is more robust and has more to offer. Okay, that you don't like hack and slash, that's a totally different story and a totally different situation all in of itself. But these two games should be respected the same way by the same logical thinking. The only reason, in my opinion, that Hellblade's getting praised is one, because it's a PlayStation console exclusive, and people are thinking that if they keep praising it, it will stay exclusive to the console and will not come out to Xbox, because Ninja Theory has been very vocal saying they want to bring it on other consoles, but they don't have the money for it. That's why they sold it for $30, and it's not physical, because they want to see how well it does so that it can come to other platforms. But in this case, if it does well, like they did with Neo, that kept praising it because it was another wannabe Dark Souls, maybe somehow Sony will be like, oh, well, why don't you make the sequel and keep it exclusive, and we'll publish it. And this is what people are trying to do, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing. Okay? And that is the bullshit that I'm calling out. Hellblade is not a bad game, by all means. I'm not saying that. But it's not the game of the year. That's a fucking fact. And if you're trying to imply that that's game of the year, then by your logic, Quantum Break should have been game of the year, Ride should have been game of the year, and all those other games that y'all hate on Xbox should have been game of the year. That's a fact. Okay? Because you're getting more buck and value for your money on Rise than you are on Hellblade. And that is something that no one can argue. And if you can argue that with me, by all means, put it in the comments or make a video and send it to me and tag me on it and show me how Rise and how Hellblade gives you more gameplay elements than Rise. Because I would love to see it. Because either I'm retarded or I'm getting too old. But I know I'm not stupid and I'm a gamer. That I know. So if you can argue with me and show me how Hellblade is giving you more experience than Rise, when it's a more simplistic game with less gameplay elements and more of a platforming, and it's more about the story, which I said before, games are not about movies, being movies, games are about playing games. If I want to watch a movie, I'll go watch a movie. That movie element or that story element is a bonus. It's not gameplay, which is the foundation and the fundamentals of video games. Period. Hands down. I think I said what I had to say. I think you guys get the point. And not to mention that they do a lot of close-up shots as well, like this, with black outlines so that a game could look photorealistic all the time, while this is giving you a whole bunch of detail at all times with a bunch of things happening at once. And they do close-up shots and far shots. Okay? This is a trick to trick the people thinking that they got photorealistic graphics as the console is more powerful. This is actually utilizing the power of the console 100% the way it's meant to be, with top quality graphics as well. It's your boy Hebot. I'm gonna get the hell out of here because I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this video, and frankly, I don't give a fuck. I'm not afraid to say what I have to say. I'm not afraid to disagree because I know that gaming right now is, most gamers or a lot of gamers, all they do is follow what's popular and not what's right or what's doing things new and different. Not to say Hellblade's not trying to do something new, because I'm glad the game's doing well, and I hope it does well for Ninja Theory's sake, because they're an underrated developer. And to be honest, none of their games nobody ever cared about, with the exception of maybe Heavenly Sword when it came out on PS3. Even though it didn't sell well, it still got good praises. And the reason for that, again, because it was a PlayStation console exclusive. And you call us guys, the Xbox guys, corporate slaves. If a game sucks dog shit on Xbox, like something like maybe a Scream Ride that's not really good or for everyone, we'll call it out. That's the difference between a real gamer and a corporate slave. A corporate slave likes everything, even if it's mediocre, and tries to say it's not mediocre. So, again, if you can prove to me that Hellblade's doing more than Rise in a video or an explanation in the comments, go right ahead. Peace, guys. I'm out. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, this is an extension of the existing video that I did comparing the hypocrisies between Hellblade and, again, Rise Son of Rome. Not to sound like a broken record, but in the video that I did, I forgot to mention another point that it's important to point out for those people that maybe have no idea that it was existing within the game. In Rise Son of Rome, the other thing that it offers that Hellblade really doesn't have is that they also give you the ability, okay, to upgrade, okay, if you will, your moves and your counter strikes attack. Because Rise Son of Rome gameplay mechanic is a lot about blocking and counter attacking. That's how it's designed. Almost like Ninja Gaiden, the way you played it when you did the counter block and then counter attack, which is something that it's not really easy to learn. I think it's implemented also in For Honor now, and a lot of people may not like the gameplay of Rise because of this, but it's once you get it, it works and you understand it, and it's fluent and it makes a lot of sense because it's authentic to the way the Spartans fought in that time. Now, a lot of people did also complain that Rise only had one weapon that you carried all the time. So that's something that I also agreed with, that I thought Rise was missing as a gameplay element. The fact of the matter is, Rise really was missing having more weapons to do more kills with, and maybe a chariot, being able to ride on chariots, or maybe even able to control certain animals like tigers or elephants to seek to either ride or seek or sick on people. I don't know if I'm saying it right. When you, like, you know, to kind of like have them kill people for you under your control, whether you have a whip or whether you have them in chains. You guys, I think, will know what I mean. And elephants to break through battle rams, maybe a door that maybe you could ride on. Those are elements that I think would have made Rise stand out 100% more. But one thing I wanted to show real quick was, if you go to Rise, which is here starting on one of the levels, I'll get to that too. You see how in Rise, turn over to the side, assistant, please. You saw how the body's laying there, right? In Hellblade, when you kill the people that you kill, they disappear. Now, I don't know that they disappear because it's all in her mind, or if it's because they just couldn't implement it with the engine and the graphics, and it was a lot more taxing, if you will, on the game. So they used the element of her mental illness to be like if they disappeared because it's all in her mind. And if it did, then it makes sense. Or if it was put there deliberately. I can't say it isn't or innocent, so I'm not going to say that. But I do know they do disappear, and in Rise, the bodies stay there, which is a detail that a lot of games don't do of this genre. Now, assistant, please go into the menu. In Rise, you can go in the menu, and you also have the ability to go to, I believe it's to skill upgrade. Go to skill upgrade. And if you see, they have health, focus, gain, combat, and you see they're in boxes with pictures of images of the Greece mythology. Those things are all not filled in when you first start playing. What these do is these allow you to do more counter attacks and environmental attacks and weapon attacks based on how long you can do a chain of counter blocking and killing. The longer the chain, the more different styles of kills come out automatically. Think of it kind of like Batman. When you keep hitting the A button while you're fighting, while you're counter blocking, the better you do it and the longer you do it, the more options you get with the prompts of the letters to make you do and allow you to do other moves or other kills. It's the same thing with Rise. When you're blocking and counter blocking to keep in a continuous chain of kills. So that's another element of the game that also takes a while, because you've got to buy it with the points that you earn in the game. As you see up there, you earn the points and they show it on the top. And there's another form also of leveling up your character to make him stronger when you fight the stronger enemies as you go along in the story. And even gives you a customization for the multiplayer also as well. But anyway, that's just, you know, different options. But these are things that, even though they may not be much, gives more gameplay value and replayability to the actual game, which again Hellblade does not do. Once you beat Hellblade, it's over, it's done with. The story, you already know what it is, and the experience never changes as far as giving you options to go back and play it, whether it's via multiplayer or whether it's you know, upgrading your skills so that you can unlock more and more different kills within the game. I know it's not much, I know it's minute, but it's something I wanted to point out for my purposes, that I didn't want to forget or leave anything out about what I was explaining about Rise or Hellblade for that matter, so that people could understand everything that is offering in comparison to my argument, Hellblade. So again, thanks again. I hope you liked the video. Just let me know in your comments what you think. Thanks again, guys. Peace.